Hey guys, it's Julie Spencer. I just wanted to share with you a cool book that I wrote, or that I created. It is called The Complete Genealogy and Chronology of the Book of Mormon, a simple guide to understanding the Book of Mormon family history. So, it's got all these cool charts, and I'll explain to you in a minute with the introduction of what exactly I did and why I did it. But it's got all these cool charts, starting with before the Book of Mormon, so before Lehi, and then going all the way to the end with Moroni, but then I've also included the Jaredites in there, and I'll explain that in a minute. So it also has all of the individuals mentioned in the Book of Mormon in alphabetical order. So it references back and forth to the charts and some information, and I'm going to just read to you because I can't explain it any better than the way I wrote it originally. So I'll just read you the introduction, if I can get to that page. Okay, about the complete genealogy and chronology of the Book of Mormon. The genealogy charts in this compilation are listed chronologically from earliest to most recent. The dates referenced are not necessarily when an individual was born or died. They are merely a time of reference during which a particular event in that person's life can be identified from within the text of the Book of Mormon. I relied heavily on notes in the index of the Book of Mormon to place these dates accurately. Horizontally, individuals are listed as accurately as I could squeeze them in. There was a lot of information to fit across a page. Forgive me if some parts of the charts are quite packed. All scriptures referenced are the first time the individual was mentioned by name in the Book of Mormon. These people are listed alphabetically in a complete index that contains a little bit more information about that individual, including ancestry and descendants whenever possible. The big exception to the chronology is that of the Jaredites, spoken of in the Book of Ether, who did not have any dates of reference. We know from the scriptures that the first Jaredites, quote, came forth from the great tower at the time the Lord confounded the language of the people, from Ether 133, and that the last known Jaredite was a man named Coriantumr, who was discovered by the people of Zarahemla, and he dwelt with them for the space of 9 moons. And that's in Omni 121, which happened chronologically sometime between 600 BC and 279 BC. So, because these dates overlap the time period during which Lehi and his family lived, and because we have very little in the way of chronological references, I've placed the charts for the Jaredites after the timeline for the rest of the Book of Mormon, similar to how they are in the Book of Mormon. I began compiling this information in the fall of 2019 after I started a fiction writing project that followed the timeline and families in the Book of Mormon. I wanted a complete family history chart represented chronologically. I couldn't find one. I searched books, scholarly journals, websites, blog posts, anywhere I could think to look. The closest chart I found was a family history chart that listed individuals based on first time they were referenced in the Book of Mormon. This chart frustrated me because the connecting lines between family members jumped back and forth and up and down. I needed them to start at the top, which was the earliest chronologically, and move through the generations until the bottom showed the most recent members of the families. Because I needed an accurate chronology and genealogy, I started retyping the chart in chronological order. That really helped me with my fiction project, and I was satisfied with the great chart that I had created. When I had completed the outline for my fiction project, I sat back and looked at the 12 pages of boxes filled with notes and lines and arrows and names of fathers and sons and mothers and daughters and grandparents, descendants, ancestors, and timelines, and I realized I had created the very chart that I couldn't find in books, science journals, internet websites, etc. If I had been looking for this chart, perhaps other people might be looking for it also. These charts took me months to complete in my spare time. I also have a full-time job, novels to write, church callings to fulfill, choir practices, legislative meetings, conferences to attend, eating, sleeping, and spending time with my husband. Not to mention, I'm raising my grand kitten right now, and he is a handful. I tried to spend a few minutes every Sunday on the compilation of this information. I really tried, but a few minutes turned into hours and hours, and my husband had to pull me away from the computer and force me to go to bed. I have grown to love the people of the Book of Mormon. I keep wanting to call them characters because I usually write fiction, but they're not characters. These were living, breathing people who wrote down their experiences, their visions, their arguments with their children and their brothers, and transgressions and temptations and missionary work and challenges of raising their children, their fear while fleeing from their enemies, their building of homes and roads and temples, their raising crops and herds and hunting and traveling. These were real people, and I love them. My hope is that in me sharing this compilation with others, they will feel the same love for the individuals in the Book of Mormon and gain a clear understanding of their lives and their importance in our lives. If you'd like to discuss this information with me, I'd love to hear from you. If this compilation has helped you in your study of the Book of Mormon, please let me know. I created these charts for me, but I hope they will bless the lives of others as well. I want these charts to be perfect, at least as perfect as we can get them, as a way of respecting the sanctity of the Book of Mormon. If any errors are found, please let me know so I can fix them. In today's modern world of on-demand publishing, making changes to books is quick and easy. And one of my readers has already contacted me, and we made changes based on, my Book of Mormon was printed in 1997, and apparently something in the index changed by one. It was a person that used to be listed as the first, and then now is the second. So I had to change it just a little bit based on that. But that's what I mean. If somebody finds an error, it might be my error, it might be somebody else's error, but I want it perfect in the chart. So back to my introduction. See, in the words of Joseph Smith Jr., quote, "If there are faults, they are mistakes of man," or women, or in my case, a woman. He also said that we should not condemn the things of God. Regarding this compilation, I'm giving you permission to point out my mistakes, if there are any. I wish to include my testimony that God lives, that the Book of Mormon was written by his prophets, and that his gospel is found in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. God bless you, my friends, and I hope you enjoy this beautiful book that I created. Again, it's called The Complete Genealogy and Chronology of the Book of Mormon, and it can be found on Amazon. So if anybody's interested in getting it, that's where it can be found. All right, have a great day.